welcome to the slow world, where the world quiets down and nature tells its story. Settle in and allow the weight of the day to drift away. There is nothing you need to remember. Simply listen as we follow a day in the life of a black bear. The story begins in the deep and quiet dark, a darkness that is not empty, but full. It is the close, earthy, and profound darkness of a den dug beneath the roots of a great, fallen hemlock tree. The air inside is cool, still, and thick with the scent of damp soil, the sweet, spicy aroma of decaying wood, the faint perfume of old, dry leaves, and the warm, musky, sleeping scent of the bear himself. This is not a temporary shelter. It is a home, a place of deep security and profound rest. A hollow space held in the strong, ancient embrace of the earth. Outside, the first, faint hint of dawn is beginning to touch the world. A pale, grey light filters through the dense forest canopy, but it does not penetrate the darkness of the den. Here, the only clock is an internal one, an ancient, biological rhythm that has begun to stir. The bear, a great, dark, living mound in the centre of the den, is asleep. His massive body, covered in a thick, shaggy coat of black fur, rises and falls with a breathing so deep and slow it is almost imperceptible. He is a creature of immense power, of muscle and bone and quiet strength, but here, in his sleep, he is a picture of perfect, surrendered peace. He lies on his side, his great head resting on his powerful forepaws, his small, rounded ears relaxed. A single, long, black whisker twitches. It is the first sign of waking. His nose, a patch of tough, wet, black leather, twitches as well, sifting the familiar, unchanging air of his den even in his sleep. A low, deep, rumbling sound, almost a groan of contentment, rises from his chest. He is on the very edge of consciousness, drifting in the quiet space between the world of dreams and the world of waking. His eyes, small, dark, and intelligent, open slowly. They are not the sharp, far-seeing eyes of a hawk, but the soft, more intimate eyes of a creature who lives by scent and sound. In the absolute darkness of the den, they see nothing, but they feel the world beginning to call. He shifts his immense weight, the movement a slow, ponderous rolling of muscle. He stretches a massive foreleg, extending his long, curved, non-retractable claws, and scratches idly at the earthen floor. He lifts his great head. The movement is slow, as if he is carrying the weight of the ancient forest itself. He is in no hurry. There is nothing in his world that requires a sudden start. He sits up, a great, dark shadow in the gloom, and shakes his head from side to side, a motion that sends a shiver through his thick fur, dislodging a piece of dry leaf that had clung to his shoulder. He yawns, a huge, cavernous, and utterly silent opening of his powerful jaw, his long, pink tongue curling. He is awake now. The deep, profound rest of the night is over. The quiet call of the new day, the instinct to move, to explore, to eat, has taken hold. He turns his great body toward the entrance of the den. A low, dark opening, partially obscured by a curtain of hanging roots. He can smell the morning air now, cool, fresh, and alive, with the scent of the waking forest. He crawls on his belly through the narrow opening, his great shoulders bunching, his movements deliberate and powerful. He emerges from the dark, warm, safety of the earth into the cool, grey, misty light of the new day. He stands for a long moment at the entrance to his den, a great, black, silent presence in the misty woods. He raises his head high, his nose pointed to the sky, and takes a long, deep, deliberate breath. He is not just breathing, he is reading the morning's news, the story of the night, written in a language of scent that is carried on the damp air. He smells the wet earth, the moss-covered rocks, the sharp, clean scent of the pine trees. He smells the faint, lingering trail of a deer that passed by hours ago. He smells the distant promise of a patch of skunk cabbage in a marshy hollow. His nose is his map, his compass and his guide. His world is a world of scent, and he is a master of its intricate, invisible language. Satisfied that the world is as it should be, he takes a slow, ponderous step forward, his great, flat paws making almost no sound on the soft, damp carpet of pine needles. The day has begun. He does not have a plan, a destination. His journey is a slow, meandering exploration, a gentle, rambling search for whatever the forest will offer him today. He follows his nose. It is an instrument of incredible sensitivity, leading him on a wandering path through the dense undergrowth. He moves with a surprising grace for such a large animal, his great, muscular body flowing over fallen logs and pushing through thickets of mountain laurel with a quiet, unstoppable force. His search for food is an omnivore's delight, a quest for a wide variety of small treasures. He is not a hunter of large prey, but a patient and thorough forager. His first stop is a great, rotting log, a fallen giant, that is now teeming with a different kind of life. The log is covered in a thick, green carpet of moss, and dotted with the pale, ghostly shapes of shelf fungi. To the bear, it is not an obstacle, but a cafeteria. He approaches the log and sniffs it deeply, his nose telling him exactly what lies within. He smells the rich, earthy scent of decay, the faint, sweet smell of beetle larvae, and the sharp, acidic scent of an ant colony. He places a massive forepaw on the log, his long, curved claws sinking into the soft, punky wood. With a single, effortless pull, he tears away a huge slab of the rotting wood, revealing the moist, dark, and busy world within. The strength in this single movement is immense, but it is used with a calm, casual purpose. He lowers his head and begins to eat. He uses his long, sticky, and incredibly dexterous tongue to lick up the fat, white beetle grubs, a rich source of protein. He finds a teeming colony of black carpenter ants and laps them up by the hundreds, seemingly unbothered by their frantic, biting defense. He is thorough, his great head moving slowly along the length of the log, his tongue exploring every crevice, every gallery, every hidden pocket of life. When he has taken all that the log has to offer, he moves on. He finds a patch of young, tender ferns, their fronds still tightly coiled into fiddleheads, and eats a few mouthfuls. He wanders into a marshy, wet area and digs up the thick, starchy roots of a skunk cabbage plant with his powerful claws. His diet is a slow, seasonal rotation of the forest offerings. He is a solitary creature, but he is not alone in the forest. He is aware of the other lives being lived around him. He hears the drumming of a grouse, a deep, resonant, and accelerating beat that sounds like a distant engine starting up. He sees a flash of red as a cardinal flits from one branch to another. He crosses the fresh tracks of a fox and pauses for a moment to sniff them, reading the story of its recent passage. He is a quiet, observant king in his own vast kingdom. His journey is a perfect picture of the slow world. There is no rush, no anxiety. There is only the present moment. The feel of the cool, damp earth beneath his paws. The scent of the forest on the air. The taste of a freshly dug root. The sound of his own slow, steady breathing. He is a creature deeply, profoundly, and peacefully connected to the earth, moving through his day with a calm, ponderous, and majestic grace. As the sun climbs higher in the sky, its warm rays beginning to penetrate the dense forest canopy, the bear feels the warmth on his thick, black fur. He has foraged for several hours. His belly is comfortably full, and the instinct to rest, to digest, to simply be, begins to take hold. He is not a creature who enjoys the intense heat of midday, and he seeks a place of comfort and of peace. His journey takes him upward, out of the damp, shaded hollows of the deep woods, and onto a high, open ridge. Here, the trees are more sparse and great. Ancient formations of granite push up through the thin soil. He finds what he is looking for, a large, flat, topped, sun-drenched granite ledge. It is a place he knows well, a favourite resting spot. The ledge is warm, almost hot to the touch, having absorbed the full strength of the late morning sun. It is like a great, natural, heated stone bed. He circles the spot once, a slow, deliberate turn, as if a memory of a long-ago ancestor who once made a bed of leaves is still ingrained in his actions. Then he lowers his great body onto the warm stone with a soft, breathy sigh. He does not curl into a ball, but sprawls out, his belly against the warm granite, his great head resting on his outstretched paws. He is a great, black, shaggy rug draped over the ancient rock. He is here to do nothing. And he is a master of the art. He soaks in the sun's warmth, letting it penetrate deep into his muscles, easing the stiffness from his morning's travels. His breathing deepens, becoming a slow, regular, and profoundly peaceful rhythm. From this high perch, he has a view of the world. He can look out over the vast, green, rolling expanse of the forest, a sea of treetops stretching for miles. He can see a hawk, a tiny, dark speck, circling on a thermal high in the blue sky. He can see the faint, silvery glint of the river in the valley far below. He watches the slow, lazy drift of a few puffy, white clouds. His eyes, heavy, lidded, begin to close. He is not in a deep sleep, but a state of pleasant, sun-drenched drowsiness. He is half awake, half asleep, aware of the world around him, but not engaged with it. He hears the gentle, constant hum of insects in the warm air. He feels the light, occasional touch of a breeze on his fur. He smells the dry, dusty scent of the sun, baked lichen on the rock. This is the quiet center of his day, a time of profound stillness, a time of digestion and rest. He is a creature of immense power, capable of great speed and strength, but he understands, on a level deeper than thought, the vital importance of conserving that energy. He understands the wisdom of the pause. His life is a balance of movement and stillness, of foraging and resting. And this long, warm, quiet rest on a sun-baked stone is as important a part of his day as any other. He is a great, dark, peaceful mountain, at rest in the heart of the world, dreaming the slow, warm, sunlit dreams of a bear. As the afternoon sun begins its long, slow descent, and the shadows of the trees on the ridge begin to stretch and lengthen, the bear stirs from his deep, sun-warmed rest. He lifts his great head, blinks his small, dark eyes, and yawns, a motion that seems to involve his entire body. The drowsy peace of his midday nap gives way to a new, familiar stirring, the return of hunger. He rises to his feet, the movement a slow, ponderous unfolding of limbs. He stretches his massive frame, a deep, satisfying pull that awakens his muscles. He shakes his shaggy coat, a ripple of black fur that seems to shake the very dust from the air. He turns his nose to the wind once more, reading the afternoon's fragrant news. The air is different now. It is drier and carries the scent of warm earth and something else. Something sweet, something irresistible, berries. His journey now has a focus, a direction. He follows the faint, sweet perfume on the air, his great, flat paws carrying him with a renewed purpose. He moves down from the high, rocky ridge, back into the richer, deeper soil of the lower slopes. His path leads him to a large clearing, a place where an old section of forest was perhaps cleared by a fire or a storm many years ago. Now, in the open sunlight, a different kind of life thrives. It is a great, tangled, chaotic patch of berry bushes. Blackberries, their thorny canes arching in every direction, heavy with clusters of dark, ripe, glistening fruit. The bear has found his paradise. He wades into the thicket, his thick fur protecting him from the worst of the thorns. He begins to feast. This is not the rough, powerful work of tearing apart a log or the earthy labour of digging for roots. This is a gentle, delicate, and joyful harvest. He does not rip at the branches. Instead, he uses his long, flexible, and surprisingly nimble lips to pluck the ripe berries, one by one, or in small clusters, directly from the canes. He is incredibly dexterous, his great size belying his gentle touch. He eats with a focused, deep contentment. A low, happy, humming sound, a sound of pure pleasure, rumbles deep in his chest. The taste of the berries is a burst of summer sweetness, a perfect combination of sugar and tartness. The juice stains his snout a dark purple. He moves slowly, methodically, through the patch, stripping the ripest berries from one section before moving on to the next. He is an expert harvester, able to tell by sight and scent which berries are at the peak of perfection. He is not alone in the berry patch. A small flock of cedar waxwings. Their feathers are smooth, silky brown, their faces marked with a dramatic black mask, flits among the branches, also enjoying the sweet bounty. They chatter and call to each other, their high, pitched, lisping notes a gentle soundtrack to the bear's quiet feast. The bear is aware of them, but he is not a threat to them, and they are no competition for him. They share the great, abundant table of the forest in a state of peaceful coexistence. He eats for a long time, his great body taking in the precious, high energy sugars that will help him build up the fat reserves he will need for the long winter to come. His every action is geared toward this single, vital purpose, but the act itself is one of pure, present moment enjoyment. He is a creature of deep and simple pleasures, and a patch of ripe, sun-warmed berries is one of the greatest joys his world has to offer. When he has eaten his fill, when his belly is tight and full of sweetness, he backs out of the thorny thicket. He licks the purple juice from his lips and nose, his long, pink tongue surprisingly quick. He stands for a moment, content and satisfied in the warm, golden light of the late afternoon, a great, dark, and happy king, his belly full of summer. The sun is low now, a great orange disk hanging just above the distant, hazy peaks. The golden hour, that time of warm, magical light, is beginning to fade into the cool, soft blues of twilight. The bear, his belly full of sweet berries, feels a new, gentle thirst. The instinct to drink and to find his way back toward the familiar comfort of his den begins to guide his movements. He leaves the berry patch behind and follows a faint, well-worn animal trail that leads downward through the darkening woods toward the sound of moving water. The air is cooling quickly now. The sounds of the day are giving way to the sounds of the evening. The insistent, buzzing hum of the day insects is replaced by the high, steady, chirping song of the crickets. A whip paw will begins its lonely, repetitive, and hypnotic call from a hidden place in the deep shadows. He reaches the river's edge. It is not a rushing, tumbling mountain stream, but a wider, slower, more placid river, its dark water flowing with a quiet, steady purpose. He approaches the bank with a cautious, deliberate slowness. Despite his size and power, he is a wary creature, always alert to the unfamiliar. He stands for a moment at the water's edge, his great head raised, sniffing the air, his small ears turning, listening. The opposite bank is a dark, silent wall of trees. The only sound is the gentle, lapping murmur of the water itself. All is safe. He wades a few steps into the shallows, his great, dark paws displacing the water with a soft, gurgling sound. He lowers his massive head to the surface and begins to drink. He drinks deeply, his great thirst quenched by the cool, clean, life-giving water. The surface of the river is a dark, rippling mirror, reflecting the last, faint, violet light of the sky. As he drinks, his eyes are open, watching the water. He sees the dark, fleeting shape of a small fish dart by. With a sudden, surprisingly quick swipe of his paw, He makes a playful attempt to catch it. He sends a great splash of water into the air, but the fish is gone. He is not a skilled fisherman like his grisly cousins. He huffs a soft breath from his nostrils as if in mild amusement at his own failed attempt. He has drunk his fill. He wades back out of the river, the water dripping from the thick fur of his legs and belly. He stands on the bank, a great, dark, and magnificent silhouette against the fading light of the sky. He has visited the log, the ledge, the berry patch, and the river. He has completed the slow, circular journey of his day. The last, deep, and final instinct of the day now takes hold. The instinct to return home. To seek the deep, earthy darkness. The absolute safety of his den. He turns away from the river, and with his slow, ponderous, and steady gait, he melts into the deep, welcoming shadows of the night forest. The journey back to the den is a journey through a different world. The forest at night is a place of mystery, of soft sounds and of unseen movements. The bear moves with a quiet confidence. He does not need the light of day to find his way. His path is guided by the familiar map of sense, by the feel of the ground beneath his paws, and by a deep, ingrained memory of his territory. The moon, a bright, silver crescent, has risen above the trees, casting a pale, dappled, and ghostly light on the forest floor. The air is cool and still. The only sounds are the chirp of crickets, the distant, haunting hoot of an owl, and the soft, rhythmic sound of the bear's own footsteps on the dry leaves. He arrives at the familiar, great, fallen hemlock tree. He can smell the comforting, earthy scent of his own den. He is home. He pauses for a moment at the entrance, taking one last, long sniff of the cool night air. Then he lowers his great head and disappears into the welcoming darkness. He moves through the short tunnel, the sounds of the forest night fading behind him. He reaches his sleeping chamber, the air inside still holding a faint trace of his own body heat. He turns in a slow, deliberate circle, pawing at the dry leaves on the floor, making his bed. Then, with a deep, contented sigh that seems to come from the very centre of the earth, he lowers his great body to the ground. He curls into a great, dark, furry ball, his head tucked onto his paws. His breathing already beginning to slow and deepen. The day's journey is over. He has wandered, he has eaten, he has rested. He is safe, he is content. The campfire, your campfire, crackles softly in the distance, a sound of warmth in the cool, vast silence of the night. The great black bear, a spirit of quiet strength and ponderous grace, is at rest, held safely in the deep, dark, and gentle embrace of the earth, dreaming, perhaps, of sun-warmed rocks and sweet, dark berries, waiting for the first, faint hint of another dawn. Thank you for wandering with us in the slow world. May your rest be as deep and peaceful as the bear's slumber, and may sleep find you gently.